Welcome to Twin Peaks Unwrapped. I'm your host, Ben Durant, and beside me is...
Bryon Kazaska.
Hey, Bryon.
Hey, Ben. How's it going?
Good. It's been a while.
Yes, it has. And it's
I refuse to edit shows now. I'm just kind of laying back. Just like, one of these days I'll do a show again.
Yeah. So I came up with this wacky idea. I said, why don't we do Open Line Sunday for our 5th anniversary?
Sunday?
Not every Sunday. If this works out well, we could possibly do it again this summer because I love seeing all these beautiful people and hearing from the community because I miss everybody. Ben and myself have not been in the studio. We've been using Zoom, which has worked out pretty well so far, so good. I see everybody. So for today's show, we want to hear from everybody. We want to hear from the community. We want to hear just come on, say hi, say your name, where you're from, because this will be an audio podcast later on. And if you got a question, you want to say hi, you got a comment, and everybody can participate. And I like to hear from everybody. And I have a really cheesy intro for this. Ben, you want to say it with me?
I don't know. Oh, no.
Come on. All right, everybody.
No, wait. Before we get to that, aren't we?
Yeah, we
I
have
guess it's an announcement.
Yeah, we have one announcement before we go.
So I think, just with the pandemic and everything that's going on, I think we've decided we're going to extend the podcast for a year, starting with, so I think June 2021.
Yeah, so we're going to go until June.
And that'll be the 25th anniversary of the second season finale there too. So
we're extending the podcast to June because of everything that's been going on. So that
is more time. I think we really want to do the community rewatches. We wanted to get those community rewatches up to second season with using the scripts and stuff, and that'll give us more time to do that. We still have interviews with cast and crew that we want to share with podcasts. So I think we can spread it out, and that doesn't mean we might go over 250. I mean, we'll just have to see where it goes in the next year.
Are you guys ready for Open Line Sunday? There you go. That's my intro for Open Line Sunday. So let's not go to the fake Jerry Owens first. Who would like to go first? Let's go. I'm going to go Igor.
Hey, how are you guys?
Hey,
good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Doing great. Thank you. How are you?
Great.
Good. So
thanks for joining us.
Thank you for your invitation.
Where are you from, Igor? Again, where are you from?
I'm originally from Croatia, but I'm living in London, UK.
Oh,
nice.
wow.
For a year and a half now. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
We spoke, Igor and myself. We spoke over Facebook.
Yes, absolutely.
You were interested in the book, but the shipping was so much, and you got the digital copy, and I
have Amazon copy.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
I've made Jeff Bezos trillionaire, man. Isn't it good? Isn't it great?
Oh yeah. We're so happy.
We need trillionaires. We need. Yeah. This is. You did a great job. Yeah.
But if you can get our book from BlueRoseMag.com, is the best place because it supports
for physical
us.
Copy, right?
Yeah. But Igor, what got you into watching Twin Peaks? Our show? How did you discover our show?
Well, it started off when I joined Twitter for the first time. I think it was 2016, if I'm right. Because I joined the Twitter because of job. I don't know. I was planning to moving to the UK, and I was like, okay, brilliant. Twitter is going to be, I don't know, connection to job market, yada yada yada. But it connected me to Twin Peaks community.
Oh, nice.
To Scott Ryan and all these guys. Then I went to UK Fest, which was great 2 times now.
Nice.
And yeah, I've discovered you because I'm into podcasts, of course. So
yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And it's sad to say that the UK Fest officially ended, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure. Is that confirmed?
Well, I think they basically took the rights back so that nobody can do a festival except for Showtime Lynch Productions.
That
Lindsay Bowden did put this on her on Twitter. She did say that basically they're taking the rights and they want to control the festivals now.
Oh dear, that's very bad news.
It's really sad. I mean, she got 10 years. I mean, that is an incredible accomplishment that Lindsay did 10 years of the UK Fest. So
Great, I've been 2 times. I'm very happy to be there. Yeah.
Bryon and I talked about going every year, and then there was always something else coming up, and we never got to go. But
yeah, too bad. But Scott is there. Scott and I met who's that? Jean Thorne. Yes.
Yeah.
What's her name? Yeah.
So many good people.
Yeah.
What else do we want to talk with Bryon here? So many people here to talk with.
Igor, thank you. We're
welcome.
Everybody stay, just because we talked to you, please stay and hang out because, feel free to chime in with anything else. Thomas Quill, we'll go down the line here. Thomas, you here?
Hello there.
Hey, Thomas, where are you from?
I'm from Ireland. Don't know what else.
What time is it in Ireland?
How did you find out about our podcast and how'd you get into Twin Peaks?
So yeah, it's 7 here in Ireland, and in regards to the show, the podcast, I think I found out about it sometime after I had watched the first 2 seasons, because after watching the first 2, I kind of just went into looking into just various discussions that people had online about it, and then I found the channel on YouTube, so I kind of just every now and again just checked in on the videos, and then as far as the show goes, I think I first watched it 5 years ago or something, and I think I only just watched the first season, and then I got back to it like a year later, and then it was 2016. That was when I got back to it, which was a pretty good year, because it was only like a year wait until the next season, so it was still a long enough amount of time to kind of be thinking about it. I wasn't like jumping into the next one immediately, but yeah, and that's kind of my thing.
Did you get into Twin Peaks because you knew season 3 or the return was going to come out eventually?
Actually, it was when I first heard about it. I was just talking to a friend of mine, and I think we were just talking about like general TV shows that we liked, and she mentioned Twin Peaks, and I had heard about it. Like I had seen the scene from season 1, the Red Room scene from season 1. I saw it just on some other I came across it at some point. I was just like, oh yeah, that's that show with that weird scene. And then I heard that it was coming back, but I didn't really know what it was. Just that it was a show that was coming back. And so I decided to check it out just to see what it was like, and yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's all the me with the Twin Peaks.
And did they show season 3? Like how, like in Ireland? I mean, was it Showtime or who broadcasted that?
In Ireland, it was Sky Atlantic is what it was being shown on.
And is it censored in any way, or is it as is?
What do you mean?
Like, do they censor the program, or like?
Oh,
I think Bryon wanted to
censor like removing anything.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was shown as it was later, like as it was supposed to be.
That's cool, man, and my God, like Ireland. So 7 a.m. right?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Oh my God. Well, that's good. At least it's not like 2 a.m, I guess.
Yeah.
I know a few people. Ben mentioned some people from the UK would be like too late for them, or no, 7 o'clock. It'd be 7 o'clock.
It's the same.
Same. Yep. Yeah. Okay. You're right. I'm all thrown off. I don't even know what day it is half the time. I know it's Sunday because I don't have to work from home. But thank you so much. We will go on into, let's see, Pete. I think we only have one Peter.
No, we got 2 Peters. So which one we got?
Which one do you want to go to?
We'll
go to them both at the same time. Go.
We'll go Peter Howlett.
Hewlett, that's me. Hey.
Yeah. Hey.
Good to see you guys. I'm in the UK as well. I'm near Cambridge in the UK. And I just discovered your podcast. I've watched Twin Peaks like back in 1990, whatever. But I just discovered your podcast like last year, and I'm listening to it in order.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've only like this week you found out who killed Laura Palmer.
Nice.
In my weird world of listening to your podcast. So that's been really cool. And I'm really looking forward to listening to you guys talk about season 3. But I think it's going to take me about 2 years, even if I speed through them, to find out what you guys thought. So what did you think? Did you enjoy the return?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
we really liked it.
yeah, you got a fun journey. You got through our teenage years or adolescent years.
Yeah.
Not being able to say any names,
Nothing's
Yeah, all
changed.
of that
ahead
stuff.
to things that we shouldn't have gotten ahead to. You know, those awkward years.
Nothing's changed, Ben. We still can't do that. We still,
There's still new things to discover, right?
yeah. But that's awesome. Thank you for listening and joining us.
Loving
today.
it. Really, really good. And I was really lucky. I've been out, spent a bit of time out on the West Coast, and I managed to get up to North Bend and look around
Nice.
the sites last year as well. So this whole last year, after 30 years of loving the show, has been this amazing Twin Peaks experience. We're listening to you guys actually visiting Stockholm and stuff. So it's been great.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's a beautiful place. It's like going home. You go there and you feel like you know the place. You know.
It's crazy, just crazy. It's amazing after all this time to see it for real.
Yeah, and seeing the waterfalls,
Yeah.
for the first time, it's just so stunning.
Well, it's beautiful. I mean, it would be beautiful if it were anywhere, but then the fact that you've seen it for so many years in those titles, and it just blows my mind.
Yeah,
Imagine.
it's so cool. Well, thank you, Peter. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it. Let's see. Everybody's names have jumbled, but since we'll go to Peter number 2, Peter Glassman.
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks. Pete.
Hey,
Where are you from, Peter?
Richmond, Virginia.
Nice.
Yeah, where I first ran into you guys in a weird way. Didn't talk to you at all. Was scared. You were celebrities during the Great Southern Festival. You were recording the panel for the podcast, and I was like, "What the heck is this? Is like high tech. This is real fandom." And then I guess I started listening to the podcast maybe a week or 2 after that, and it's been great to have you guys along for the ride for the last 5 years. I wanted to, before I forget to say, Peter talked about going out to the Pacific Northwest, and we've been fortunate to be able to go out many times, and last year we took our teen daughters there for our one daughter was graduating from high school, so we kind of did a little trip, and we went and visited friends, not only Twin Peaks related friends, but other friends who had lived in Richmond and moved out there to Seattle area. And it's just so incredible how the scenery, it clearly inspired the path of Twin Peaks, whether it was during the writing, during the scouting, afterward. Everything is really, I feel like I'm in total agreement with Michael Horse when he says the landscape is another character in the show. So, it's a fantastic place. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend finding somebody who can be your sort of guide to either the well-known places or little-known places, and also the local businesses that are not, just the Salish Lodge or walking down to the base of the falls. There's so much to see there, and it's just a great time. But back to you guys in terms of your 5th anniversary, I used to work about an hour away from here, and I would put you guys on in the morning. This is playing catch up, right? So I was, I try to make sure I listen to all the podcasts. I would put you on in the morning, and if it was like a not quite an hour for me to get there, and your show was not quite, maybe a little bit more than that,
I would have to put you back on, make sure the next one was all queued up and everything. But I spent a lot of good times being able to listen to you the whole way to and from. I really appreciate it. And I know you guys are huge fans, and you've been to a lot of different events, and you try to get out there and intermingle with the little people. So we appreciate it.
The little people.
No, Pete, I remember you
Yeah.
at the Great. I think I've said this to you before. I remember you at the Great Southern. I don't remember it was because if you're tall or you're with your wife and you just were like kind of in the corner there. You went to, I think, when we went to the bar and you were at the bookstore. And I don't know why, but I remember you to this day being at the Great Southern.
Probably I had just been on America's Most Wanted right before.
That's what it was.
Oh man, thank you, Pete.
Thank you guys, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Not only what you do and your friendship, and love coming on and supporting you.
Thank you so much.
We love having you, and we love having you be part of the show and being part of the community rewatch. I love that you're taking part in all that. Thank you.
Yeah, and also Pete, he is reading our book, which you can get at bluerosemag.com today. Shameless plug. Thank you, Bino. He's reading it as we do a cast. If you guys are not familiar, Ben on Friday nights he streams Twin Peaks from his house, a watch party on Cast at 8 p.m. Eastern. And you're more than welcome to join. It's all chat based. People, and the link is always in our show notes and social media. But Pete, thank you so much for everything. Your friendship is overwhelming.
Thanks so much.
Hey, my pleasure.
We're gonna go to people I don't know. Ben and Nicole.
You don't know me?
No, there's a Ben and Nicole listed here.
Hi.
Hey guys.
Hey, so Ben and Nicole, where are you from? And how'd you get into Twin Peaks? How'd you get into the podcast? You want to say anything? Got a question?
We're from LA.
Yeah, we're from LA. I've been listening to the podcast for a long time now. I think I looked back, I wrote you guys an email back in 2017 and had been listening for a while at that point.
Oh boy.
And, I think Nicole's been listening here and there as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, he got me into it. We've been watching Twin Peaks forever.
I got into it back in college. Ran through, my buddies had the old DVDs, had some bootleg DVDs, and then have been hooked ever since. And then
he got me into it in what was it, 2012?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Not a whole lot, I guess, to add, I guess. I mean, other than just congratulating you guys on your 5th anniversary. It's an incredible accomplishment for all you guys have done. So thank you so much.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you for listening and spreading the word. And you got a new little Twin Peaks fan there. Well,
we're easing him into it.
Yeah.
Hi.
Say hi.
Darren.
I guess as far as questions, maybe offhand, what's your favorite Twin Peaks theory? What's the one that keeps you up at night that you can't stop thinking about? And then we'll throw it back to you guys.
Oh man, I will say for me, and maybe after we talk to you, we're gonna talk to John Thorne because he's in the house. The Godfather's in the house.
Amazing.
I would say
shout out to John Thorne.
John Thorne. He's already getting nervous. I would say meeting him and his theory about with Firewalk with Me, the dream and everything. That obviously season 3 might have changed all that, but he had a great theory about that, which is wrapped in plastic and in his book as well. That's a great theory. It's one of my favorites. I mean, I always go back to it. But with season 3, then you're like, I don't know anymore. But still, it's a great theory. That's my favorite.
I was always a big fan of JC's Cooper is dead theory. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too.
Wait,
wow, you do.
What's that one suggesting? Because he died at some point.
I don't remember the details well enough to quote it.
Wasn't that Cooper actually got shot at the end of the first season, and he actually
have heard that before. Yeah.
That everything after that is him or dead. I mean.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What is my? I mean, I still wonder about is it all a dream? We live inside a dream. Well, whose dream is it? Is this all? Is any of this real? I mean, I'm still kind of. I think a lot about that. But since we have John Thorne on, we should ask him about theories.
Yeah, we're going to go to John Thorne now. John, this is your bread and butter theories.
It's good. Hey, congratulations. 5
Thank you.
years. Good. That's really good.
Thank you, John.
And John, congratulations! You and Josh Mitten have a wonderful and beautiful brand new podcast out. You should share.
It's about time. I'm so glad he's doing the
know.
podcast. I mean, that's so awesome.
Well, it really kind of came about by accident because I was just tweeting back and forth with Josh, and he had suggested one idea, and I said we should talk about that. And it's one thing led to another, and before you know it, Josh ran with it, and we have a podcast. It's called In Our House now, and I think we've done 4 or 5 episodes. We've got a couple more planned. We'll be going for a while. It was basically we were kind of trapped in the house for so long. We thought, we wanted to talk about Twin Peaks and share some ideas with people. So that's what we've been doing. It's been fun.
Nice.
You'll love it. So I highly recommend to everybody, if you haven't subscribed to that, subscribe today because it's a good one. And you guys started that podcast like on a different platform. It wasn't on iTunes in the beginning because I was like, I cannot find it anywhere.
Yeah, Anchor. I think it's called Anchor Podcasts. I think it's on iTunes now, though.
It is.
It takes a little longer to get onto iTunes. So,
Brian, you know how it is. When you do it, starting a podcast, you just got to get it started, and then we branch off and stuff.
I know.
Brian wants everything right away.
I didn't know what Anchor was. I know because I saw in my feed that your show was out, and I went to iTunes. I couldn't find it, and then Scott Ryan had mentioned where he goes, using some new podcast thing I'm too old to understand. So then I was like, I hope it's not an exclusive to some other platform, but it is.
You need to know the secret password to get into watch and listen to the podcast.
I know. I didn't know it. I didn't know the secret handshake. But John, let's go back to your theory. We should before we start talking to everybody else though, real quickly, you should what's that theory I was talking about? Give everybody an idea what was I trying to convey, because I did a horrible job.
The theory I think you were talking about is it's something I wrote quite a while ago, although I've been writing about it again just within the last week, is that the first 30 minutes of Fire Walk with Me was actually Dale Cooper's dream, and that he was reimagining his own investigation into the Teresa Banks murder. I won't go into a whole bunch of details. There's a lot of evidence to support it in the film. And I think the biggest piece of evidence that supports it is that that's what Lynch intended to begin with. He wanted Cooper to be in that part of the film. And when Kyle MacLachlan couldn't or wouldn't, commit to that much, what they simply did was they just changed the name and kept everything else the same. They just added in what I call a surrogate Dale Cooper, and that is Chet Desmond. And so Chet Desmond carries on what Cooper was supposed to have done. And we can debate it, and I know a lot of people don't like it because it supposedly diminishes or removes Chet Desmond from the story. But for Lynch, I think it was really important that Cooper be a presence there. And so Chet Desmond may be real, maybe not, but Cooper is a presence throughout that first 30 minutes. And that's basically the theory.
Love it. All right, we're gonna move along. Thank you, John, and thank you.
Hey, I'm gonna have to run. I
yeah.
gotta pop, say hi.
Congratulations.
You guys are the best. You have always been the best, and I just happy that I got to know you guys over the last few years. It's been great.
Same.
Thank you, John.
It's been awesome. Thank you,
and
John, so much.
When you and Josh Mitten have a 5-year anniversary, we're going to be there.
Well, wow, I can't even imagine that, but all right, you bet.
It sneaks up on you. It'll happen quickly.
Yeah.
Time flies.
All right, take care.
All right,
Take
bye,
care, John.
John. Thank you.
See you, John.
And thank you to Ben and Nicole for that question, because that led to some interesting stuff. Let's go to Aaron Cohen. He was like the first one in, and I would say, Aaron, you are like you are the, like, you document Twin Peaks, the community, like You're everywhere. You're like, if it's in Seattle one day, New York the next, you are there. I don't know how.
If it's in Australia, you'll be
you're there. You're like, if you want a social media presence, anybody out there on Twitter, you follow him. He will have it covered. He is the international man of mystery, Mr. Aaron Cohen. How you doing, Aaron?
Yeah, well, first off, I mean, thank you for the kind words there. I love your podcast. Congrats on 5 years. It's just been a joy getting to know both of you and listen to the podcast. I mean, of course, you mentioned traveling all around. Not much of that recently.
Yeah.
But ordinarily, yeah, it's kind of almost every week bouncing around here or there. And I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be able to go to a lot of the Twin Peaks events and meet so many great people. I think I actually met the two of you at I think it was Scott Ryan's Letterman event there in New York City. I think it was the first time we met in person.
Yeah, it was.
That was great. And then Ohio, you were there, Ben. So I saw you again at Ohio at a Twin Peaks event.
And we've seen each other in New York a couple, I think once, or maybe that was the same thing. But yeah, I feel like I've seen you more, but maybe you have that personality. It seems like you've been there.
I just keep tweeting selfies and pictures and things with people. But yeah, no, it's been great knowing both of you.
I will say that Letterman, Scott Ryan wrote a book about Letterman. We went to a little thing in New York, and Aaron, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't get my book signed. When it comes to being a situation like that, I'm too shy. I don't want to bug people. But Aaron's like, we should get our book signed. And I'm like, sweet. So I just followed you. And you're like, could you sign my book? And I'm like,
you didn't want Scott, you were too afraid to ask Scott Ryan for a signature?
Not Scott Ryan.
Not Scott. The David Letterman celebrities from the show.
Yeah.
They were loving it. It was the people, the casting, some of the crew members from Letterman that had been involved with the final season and the show in general. But yeah, I mean, they enjoyed signing our books too. So that was a good experience.
Yeah. So thank you, Aaron, for being so outgoing and allowing me to follow you. Because I get too shy. Hey, Jill just joined us.
Yeah, hey, Jill.
Jill. So I'm just going around and talking to everybody. So Aaron, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate everything you do. Anybody wants to follow Aaron, what's your Twitter handle?
So it's I Move Car, which hopefully those of you who like season 3 recognize that from the Polish accountant. One of my favorite lines from the season.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Nice.
Thanks for doing this, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm going to go to someone I don't recognize or don't recognize the name. We'll get a new voice in here. Mr. Jerry Owens.
Hey guys.
Hey, Jerry.
This is not my doppelganger. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Oh, these guys are cool.
So I'm in Syracuse, New York, and I started your podcast in like 2017 before the season 3. I was looking for something to get me excited about it again. Not that I wasn't excited, but so it's funny because I got part of the way caught up, and then I had to start with season 3. So I was bouncing back and forth between the old episodes and the new episodes. And great. I always had something to listen to. And I really want to thank you for the rewatch, because I started a rewatch 2 weeks before you did. And then I stopped. As soon as I saw yours, I stopped and said, all right, this is great. I got someone, I didn't realize how many people, a bunch of people to watch it with, and it's great. I have something to look forward to every Friday.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Nice, thank you. And where are you from again?
Syracuse, New York.
Oh, nice. So you're not
East Coast with us here.
Yeah.
Beautiful sunny day.
I know. Weather's great, man. Well, thank you for joining us today. And yeah, we got to deal with the pranksters. We did make the mistake of publishing this on social media, so we did ask for this. We knew it was going to happen. But did you have any questions or anything on your mind, or like?
Well, the question I had, you already answered. I was going to ask if you thought you were going to get through the community rewatch or the podcast rewatches, but you already said we're going to go until June, so that's great news.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, Ben, we're still chugging along with the community rewatches and the God, who's the people who do the voices? 25 years later.
Right, and the Pink Room Burlesque, they're able to act out the deleted scenes there.
Right. Those guys do amazing. And, Pete, he's done voices. like a whole bunch of people have done voices that are actually here right now, and those shows are so awesome. I mean, it was a great idea on Ben's part, and I think that's going to keep the show going until next June because it's a lot of work on Ben's part to put them together.
The next one, if I get it done, the next one we have is Schaefer the Dark Lord. I believe he's acting out all. Is that right? Is that, or maybe that's 2 episodes?
2 episodes.
What?
2 episodes.
Oh, 2 episodes. So I'm already behind on the community rewatches, but right, I think we have 25 years later doing the next one, and then the following one will be Schaefer the Dark Lord acting out all the parts, the men, the women, everything. It'll be really fun. So maybe the next month we'll get to that. We have Bino here. We should say hi to him.
I know I was going to go next to Bino, but thank you so much, Jerry, for joining us. Bino, unmute yourself. I muted everybody, so I apologize. But Bino, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you guys doing?
Good. So where are you from again, Bino?
I live in Northern California in a small town called Sebastopol, Sonoma County, wine country.
Oh, geez. So you got all the wine coming in during the whole pandemic. You're good to go.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I know all of the tasting rooms are closed right now, but yeah.
And Bino, you've got your Twin Peaks Unwrapped shirt just like I have it on. It's nice.
Dude, I got cold though. I had to put a jacket on. Yeah, I've been listening to you guys for almost 5 years. So I was trying to think back to when I first started listening, and it's been like so long I don't know that I can remember. But it was definitely when you guys were still on season 1. And I had been like searching around for a podcast to listen to. I had just been to the US festival for the first time the year before, in 2014. And then The Missing Pieces came out. And it was like the first time in my personal fandom life that I had started to like get involved with the fan community and like search out people and podcasts and stuff. And I mean, I don't think there's probably quite as many podcasts back then as there are now. But I remember just loving your guys' show right away. And I probably said this to you before, but the reason that I loved it so much was that you guys take Twin Peaks seriously and you have fun with it. And I just love that combination of like really taking it seriously and getting into the, the weeds and the theories and everything. But you guys have so much fun doing it, and you can hear it when you listen to it. And I just really appreciate that. So,
yeah.
Listening ever since.
And I love, in 2017, we went to the Washington Fest, Twin Peaks Fest, and we actually were at the Double R, where they shot the exterior. But to be in there and be able to watch part 12 and just hang out with you and Chris and Glenn and all that was a pretty special night.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was really awesome. And I will never forget running into you guys at the rental car agency too.
Like 2 in the morning.
It was like so late.
Yeah.
That was actually when we arrived, right? We were getting there. Yeah. And for some reason, I don't know, you could hear our voices and you knew who we were.
He's like, I recognize your voices. Yeah.
I don't even know if I knew what you looked like by that point. But I walked by and I heard both of your voices. I'm like, that's gotta be Ben and Bryon. So awesome.
So cool.
Yeah, but thank you guys for everything you do for the community too. I feel like kind of my journey into becoming a part of the fan community has been partially because of you guys. You've done so much.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the community is great. I mean, everybody right here. It's like it's just a weird thing. It's like there's a lot of love, and on Facebook there's a great community on Twitter and Reddit. But yeah, it's just wild. It's wild that you recognize our voices. And I told Ben, I'm like, that's the strangest thing. It was weird. It was surreal. It's a surreal moment.
Well, when you listen to your guys' voices every week for years,
yeah,
start to recognize them.
But yeah, thank you, Bino, for being here today. Appreciate it. I will go to Rob. Rob, how's it going?
Hey.
You have a nice little setup there.
Not too bad. How are you?
So where are you from?
I'm from Ottawa, which is in Canada.
Nice.
So just a little above you.
Man, I love this. We got Ireland, the UK, and Canada. We're representing
Global. It's global.
It's global. So what got Twin Peaks? Same thing. What got you into that and to listen to us? And any questions or anything you want to talk
Sure.
about?
Yeah. So I watched the original run back in 1990, I guess it was, and then 95 or 96 they replayed it on Canadian Bravo. I think they did it in the US as well. So I taped that on VHS. Still have those. One of my proud possessions. I'm going to bring it out one of these days. And then, I've sort of stayed in touch with Twin Peaks over the years. Got the gold box and when it came out, and then what was next? Entire Mystery, and then the 18 other ones that came out in the last 2 years. And then I guess it was around the time that Mark and David tweeted about the return that I really went into hyperdrive, and that's probably around the time I started watching or listening to Twin Peaks Unwrapped as well. I might have listened to a few before that. I'm not sure exactly when you started, but I think that was the point where I really got into it and started listening weekly.
Oh, nice.
And what else have I done? I haven't been to the US festival. I did make it to the UK festival last year, which was great. I'm glad I went and met Aaron there, and I'm not sure if I met anyone else on here. But that was a lot of fun. Really cool festival, and it was great.
Man, nice. I mean, it is great, and I think I'm gonna go to the next person after you, Rob. But like when you, our friend Jill, she's like the resident tour guide of
Washington Fest.
Yeah, and she still gives tours privately right now. Like, if you show up there and you hey, I need a tour, she's your person.
Yeah, I'm following her on Instagram and all the channels. So she's great. I love her posts, and I'm glad she's feeling a little better now as well.
Yeah. You need to unmute her, Bryon?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna unmute Jill. Hold on. Jill, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. I'm feeling better. I got out to the falls yesterday very slowly.
How was it out there?
Oh, so good to be back in those spooky woods. And I say spooky in a positive way. It's just there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it. And I was able to get Harriet out there for the second time. And
that's your dog, right?
That's my puppy. I have two dogs. I've got a black dog and a baby husky who has more energy than I would like a 16th of her energy to do anything. But anybody who wants to come out here, just shoot me a message and I'll take you on the special walk. I walk the land on the side of the falls opposite the Great Northern. It's the old forest, and it's magical. I've taken all of you guys, well, not all of you guys, but I've taken Ben, Bryon, Aaron, I've taken the other Ben.
The other Ben.
I've taken all you guys out there, and every time it's different every time, and it's a miraculous place to go. Just even aside from the Twin Peaks aspect of it, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, I know. For the when we went to the festival, we missed the tour, and I was so bummed. I missed we were supposed to get on the bus, and I scheduled wrong, or I missed it. But Jill, you made it so special because you got to take us to the falls and just to be, and we went under the falls too, which was, a lot of people just go above and check it out, but it was kind of cool to be down below and see the falls from on the ground. It's so special.
I was just going to ask, Jill, what's your name, just for future reference if I was in the area,
online you can find me at Pie4Jill, pie as in delicious pie, the number 4 Jill.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and then on Facebook, Jill Watson.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, and I'm friends with most of these guys, so you can find me through that.
Great, thanks.
And they tagged me in the Twitter post on this too, so
okay.
yeah, just shoot me a message, and yeah, happy to take anybody who wants to come.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
And Jill kicked butt, and she was our one of our editors for our book, Twin Peaks Unwrapped, the book, and that was so important to us too, like fixing all the issues we had with our book. So thank you, Jill, for all that you did.
My pleasure, my total pleasure. It was more of a pleasure for me, I think, because I got to read it first. So that was a real treat. That book is fantastic. It's going to be canon for years to come. And unfortunately, I have another event going on, so I need to hop off. But congratulations on 5 years, guys. You guys, the things you do for the community can't be quantified. And you just keep putting out quality content, and I just know that we love you, and I just send you both the biggest hug that I can possibly give you. And
thank you, Jill.
And best wishes to everybody.
You too.
Yeah,
take
thank
care.
you, Jill.
Thanks
so
for
glad
coming
you're doing
by.
better.
Thank you. All right, have a great rest of your weekend, guys.
You too.
Three.
So we have someone who is, I was just chatting with, Ben Hanning. Ben Hanning. Please don't be a prank.
I think it's a prank.
I don't know. We'll find out. I'll unmute.
Oh no.
Oh boy, watch out. I'm unmuting him. Nothing's happening. Look at Pete's laughing. It's like a bad, scary movie is what it is.
Isn't Ben the one that's doing the free gym training?
Oh, was he?
Yes.
Oh, well then, bye-bye. All right, he's gone. All right.
Oh, I wanted to learn about the gym training, right?
Oh man!
Give him a chance.
We've got Stephen Miller.
Yes,
he's in the house.
Let's do Stephen Miller.
He's on the farm there. He's part of Straight Story.
Yeah, very good. Favorite.
Oh yeah.
Available on Disney Plus. So I live here in Orlando, so I'm down here, and it's as humid as can be. If you saw the tornadoes, they did come through last night. But thankfully it was a little bit further from our house. But I was watching the Two Jakes. It's the follow-up to Chinatown, 1990, Jack Nicholson directed. I'd never seen it. I'd seen Chinatown a million times. But I was watching that, and all of a sudden, boom, and the lightning and thunder, and just knocked out all the power. It was a pretty intense storm. I've been down here in Orlando for about 22 years. Originally from Columbus, Ohio, where these cornfields, this was Iowa, but it's pretty similar. It's where I grew up. But I've lived here in Florida more than I lived in Ohio. This is where I fell in love with the show. But it's good to see everyone. We do so much on social, and now to have a face-to-face here is great. I know we first saw each other at the Festival of Disruption in Brooklyn, which was such a fantastic event. I mean, first real extended time I had spent in New York City, in Brooklyn in particular, and then just, I don't know, it was 3 days of just pretty awesome stuff, and really knew this was a very special community after that. So congratulations. We had talked about, I think, and Jill mentioned it, the whole idea of canon and the work you've done and so forth, but the stories that you've told are important when we talk about the life of the show and the experience. We are 30 years this year, but you think about, if you take an archivist approach, you take about these stories, and over time they disappear. And the fact you have audio recordings of them, and the fact that you've talked to people that have been a part of it, you've talked to fans that have been a part of it. 30 years from now, it's like the Bookhouse Boys, right? We pass that on to someone else who will carry that on. But to have that documented, as someone who loves being an archivist and that kind of mindset, it's really great work and very vital, I think, to the stories that are part of this community. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. How is your blog coming along? Are you working on anything right now?
I am. I've been so Society 6 has been releasing new art every day. So that's been fun to write a story every day about some of the art that's doing. I try to tie the art release to something with the show and give some more insight and details to stuff. Today, I've been working on just location stuff. I mean, I took so many photos visiting in September, October, and January in the past, this past year. And today has been Sparkwood in 21. So I've been working on just some of that. I thought so most of the Sparkwood 21 scenes in Firewalk with Me take place at night, right? I mean, James comes up, Laura gets off the bike, and that kind of thing. So when I was out there, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go out and try to shoot this at night to see, that there ain't lights out there at all. It is pitch black, and you're standing on this road, and 2-lane road, right? And it is dark, and then you're standing with the woods behind you because you're looking toward Ronette's Bridge, and you can't see anything, So I had my tripod, and I took a long exposure of the scene because they brought out lights to help light the area and help light the scene. You can actually see a shadow of some of the lighting and so forth within the scene, from that. But standing there, Jill mentioned the spooky woods. Man, I took the shot and I was like, I'm out of here. Because you could just feel that presence behind you. It was just, it was creepy, but it was awesome, and totally loved it. So yeah, I've been trying to go through and update some of the articles that maybe I've written in the past, but we have new photos to document and so forth. It's an endless thing.
Cool.
I keep telling my wife I'll be done one day.
You'll never be done. You'll
never be done, right?
Yeah. But yeah, Stephen, tell everybody who doesn't know your webpage.
Sure. Yeah, it's at twinpeaksblog.com. And I just passed the 400 article mark, so just keep writing, and just keep doing it. I've been updating a Google Maps, Google My Maps, which is on the film locations page, trying to include every single thing possible. So from the exact location of where this scene was. I mean, yesterday I was working on the intersection scene from Firewalk with Me, and also part 6. So updating those stories. But yeah, Jill's fantastic in taking tours. She took me and Copper, the dog, out to Olali State Park, which is outside of North Bend, and tons of stuff was shot for season 3 and for Firewalk with Me out there, and it was just great. We spent about 3 hours in the park, and just the dog was great. He kept picking up sticks and chewing sticks and so forth, and it was just she's a great tour guide, and just it is truly a magical place out there. I can't wait to get back out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this is a question for everybody here. We passed the Graceland was going to have their thing. Oh my God, what month was that going to be? April, March, May?
It was April, right?
April.
I think it was the first week in April.
Right. Here's a question for everybody. I mean,
want to unmute everybody?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys you guys can chime in, unmute yourself. If you can't, let me know. I'll unmute you. So the question is October, Graceland. I don't know who plans on going or who can go or who is
going to go. And are you still thinking of going?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They have the date is the last weekend of October, but at the same time, I'm still hesitant. I don't know what everybody's feelings are.
We Twin Peaks Unwrapped. We were going to have a panel. I mean, a panel for April for doing this. And I think the idea was we would have done it for October. But yeah, what do people think?
So I've been monitoring for work because I work at the happiest place on earth, and clearly we're not reopening until the parks, that is, not reopening until July. But I've been monitoring actually Graceland. They do have social distancing measures in place. They're very creative. Please step on our blue suede shoes signage, so to help with the social distancing piece and that kind of thing. Clearly, I think it's going to be one of those things. It will probably depend on numbers and how the pandemic looks and so forth. I mean, here in Central Florida, numbers, while cases continue to rise, the number of hospitalizations and fatalities continue to decline. So it'll be interesting to see how that is. Particularly if you think about like photo opportunities, various things like that? How does any of that work within a setting? For those that went to Fayetteville, Arkansas, the fan event that was held at the end of February, we were all very, very close. Everybody was taking pictures. Everything was all together. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Fayetteville seemed like the last hurrah. Like that was pretty awesome. Like you guys had a great time. Like it looked so cool. So many cool things happened. Right, that was right before everything kind of stopped.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal that happened without a hitch there. It was like 2 weeks. When was that, Stephen? Was that beginning of March, mid-March? It was like right there.
It was February 29th. Leap day.
Okay, yeah, very end of February. So it was just before kind of everything pretty much fell to pieces. And we had people come over from Italy to there too, and they got back just in time because then they weren't able to move around at all once they got back to Italy. So it was kind of a moment in time. We had a lot of great people there and a huge number of cast members, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that we still have our tickets, we still have our hotel reservations, we still have our plane tickets, and the very interesting thing, obviously, we all watch Twin Peaks, and the notion of time is very interesting in the whole show, and I think we have the benefit of time that it is now June, and we've got July and August and September to see and monitor how things go. But I think the ultimate thing is about safety and also placing ourselves in a mindset that it may look very different than what we think. For those who are going or planning on going or were planning on going, we got to choose our seats in the Graceland Auditorium for the panels and the concert and everything. Like pretty much, I think we're going to be seated much further apart if we're going to still have something like that. And the photo ops are going to look very different, if at all. The important thing is that everybody emerges from that safely and with their health, and is instead of a big pile of donuts, you may have individually wrapped donuts for your protection. And you may not. Sorry, we want to. We'll have compostable coffee cups instead of everybody having their own Twin Peaks mugs to drink out of and refill and everything else. But again, like this is the interesting thing for me, is that if we think about the gap in 30 years of fandom and how we didn't even know each other until the advent of technology, and connecting us, whether it's from alttv.twin peaks or Facebook and then podcasting and everything, things change, and we have to kind of look at that. I think that's a hallmark of the show, is that the one thing you can't change is the inevitability of time. So just kind of take the opportunity as it presents itself.
Great point.
Very well said. I mean, we will see. It's tough though. I know Graceland hasn't had a event yet. I mean, obviously.
I think they reopened though. So
they are reopened, but I'm saying they haven't had an event like the Twin Peaks Festival would. So I guess I don't know if Twin Peaks Fest is like one of the first events on their docket, or if there's a couple before that. It would be interesting to see how those happen and how those experiences happen for those folks. But yeah, photos. I pictured like people like standing 6 feet apart. They take a photo and then they visually put people together. Or a cardboard cutout. Here's a cardboard cutout. I
think you also have to consider the older cast members too. You don't want, obviously, and the fans. We're not spring chickens anymore. Well, you guys are still young people, but
you don't know. No. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it is that they're getting older, and will the older ones decide not to go? That's the other question.
Possibly.
Yeah. Wouldn't fault them if they didn't.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's something we're all watching. I know there's a Graceland Facebook group. And people are kind of keeping an eye on there. And I know you, Stephen, you have posted stuff, and there's conversations happening in that Facebook group about everything. So I just wanted to get what people thought, like if they were still interested or they want to wait. I get nervous. I mean, I'm like, part of me is like, I don't want to do anything until there's a vaccine. That's just me. But October is a while, is far enough away that things could change. I don't know. So
what does everybody think about David Lynch on YouTube now?
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's pretty much the best thing
yes.
ever. Yeah, daily weather reports, what he's working on. Yeah, it's been pretty special.
Oh yeah, he's only had two ones, I think, of what he's working on at the moment, but they've been entertaining nonetheless.
When I saw he was back, I thought of Ben, because Ben used to tell me about these.
DavidLynch.com forever. When I was, years ago, you had to pay money, and you get to see what he was working on every day, and he'd do his weather report. So it brings you back to the old days of his DavidLynch.com site.
Yeah, like it's so cool. And if you guys look at the thumbnails, it gets bluer. I don't know if that's on purpose or just the camera, but it gets bluer. Like I'm like,
yeah, it's a bit inconsistent. Some videos are blue and then some aren't. I wonder, is it just something that he decides on the day? Like, I want this to be a blue video. This one is, I won't do anything with it. I don't know what his mindset is.
He needs a white balance. That's what it is. White balance.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Video production.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty cool.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, it's always fun to just have at the very end just a bit of a have a great day, everyone. It's just kind of just makes your day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. Twin Peaks is telling me Joel is trying to get on. I'm not letting anybody in unless I'm not letting anybody in. But if Joel's trying to get in, just say Joel with the number 4 at the end of his name. If he did, or Joel, I'll let him in if you can vouch for him. Twin Peaks.
This Joe Bucco.
Is it Joel Bucco?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, awesome.
I haven't seen him at all, so tell him I haven't seen that name pop up. So if we can get Joel, that'd be great. Make sure he has the right link. He could be trying to get in some other group chat. They're probably like, he's like, "Hey guys, let's talk about Twin Peaks," and they're like,
"This guy is spamming us.
You're spamming us. Get away, get away." And then I just stopped letting people in, and I think I kicked out. I think everybody. I don't know who James is. That's muted and doesn't have a camera. I'm afraid
he's pretty cool, from what I heard.
Yeah, I hear
he's always been cool.
He's always been cool. Well, we'll find out. But did we hit everybody? Did we talk to everybody? So I think we've hit everybody. We'll wait for Joel Bacco to come in. Be fantastic.
Joel's here to end the show.
Yeah, Joel will be the ender. He's the ender. Like, it's so great to see everybody and new people we've just met and people I've chatted with online, like with Igor there. It's so cool. We get to chat with people, and now we could use Zoom to meet everybody. It'd be great to have Graceland where everybody can go to something like that, or even if Twin Peaks Fest goes back to the home base, which would be the best, I think. That's the most special place. And some folks sometimes they try to plan something in February where they just go there and have their own little thing. So you have an unofficial official gathering of people, which is pretty cool. But anybody want to talk about anything? Like anything on your mind, questions or anything? Feel free.
I wish they'd do the season 3 marathon in the cinema again. That's actually Ben and Bryon, because that was amazing in New York City.
Where was the marathon in the cinema?
So they did it at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. This was back. Was this January 2018? Does that sound about right? January, February 2018.
Yeah, I saw you there.
Yeah. So we connected there, Ben and Bryon and I, and that was amazing. It was over 3 days. It was Friday night, first 4 parts. Then I want to say Saturday they did the next 7, and the last 7 Sunday.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a whole one sitting.
No, not in one sitting, over 3
Okay.
days.
But
yeah,
that's
George,
still
George
cool
Griffith was there
nonetheless.
watching all of it with us, and yeah, it was a cool moment in time. And I wish they do that again to have more fans involved. Do something maybe in LA and New York again, but.
And I talked to
Yeah,
Sabrina, and Sabrina didn't think they would do something like that again, which I was
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
you went through all the work of having to color correct it and make it so it's available on film, and yet I would think that'd be something
Yeah.
you'd want to keep on doing.
Yeah, because remember you guys had Sabrina on the show, and she mentioned Dave had gone back and done some kind of retooling to the coloring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did it in London in the 90s. I'm sure one of the cinemas in London did season 1 and 2 back to back over literally over 24 hours.
Love it.
Yeah. That's
and
cool.
I think it ran midnight to midnight because I think I was like, how old was I in 1990? 17, and I wasn't allowed to go because like midnight to midnight was bad, and it annoyed me because if it'd been like midday to midday, my parents would have let me go out. But I would see that. But how you stay in a cinema for 24 hours and stay awake, I'm not really sure, to be honest. So. But it would be pretty cool to see that.
I used to have a marathon in my parents' basement for 4 years when I was in college. We would show the entire series in the movie. It was 29 and a half hours. And yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm a big fan. In Columbus, Ohio, a friend of mine runs a sci-fi marathon and a horror movie marathon, spring and fall, and it's 24 hours of films. And they're a hoot. I mean, they're a lot of fun. Great people who just enjoy cinema. It's almost like Mystery Science Theater 3000 at times because some of the films are pretty bad. But I'd love to see it. You know, Ben and Bryon, question for you guys. So 5 years. What's been your favorite memory from this past 5 years?
Well, mine, I love that Bryon never figured out who the killer was. So that was one of my favorite things, is that we were going through this and he thought it was Ben Horn, and I was just like so happy. I was just so happy that I got to see it through your eyes, because, you know, I mean, to have watched the show for as long as I have and then just be with somebody who had never seen the show. So that was definitely so much fun. And then to have the show come back, I mean, we waited so long for the show to come back, and that was so special. And then Bryon, it's still like you wanting to just watch it week to week. I watched 4 hours. That's that one night. I think, was it 4 hours? Yeah. Gosh, it was, right? 2 hours and then 2 hours online. And you were like, nope, gonna wait a week for the next two. But those are some of my favorite things. You, Bryon?
I would say Ben getting like such amazing guests, and when we were doing stuff for the book, getting to talk to some people that we couldn't share with anybody else. But I mean, it was just like David Duchovny was like the coolest. Like I still can't get over it. We talked to him, even though it's like 15 minutes, and that like was kind of like the highlight. That was like, wow, David Duchovny and Kyle. I mean, Kyle. It's weird. Those two. It's like David Duchovny because I grew up watching X-Files, obviously. So I think I have more attachment. But then Kyle too. That Kyle was in that same vein of like, wow, we're really doing this. We're gonna do this. So I would say that's probably one of mine. But I think ultimately, overall, just this didn't sound cheesy, but I don't care. But meeting everybody, like becoming friends with like all these people across the globe, and meeting everybody at the fest. And I always told Ben, I'm like, it's so crazy. We went to that first fest and we met Scott Ryan and John Thorne and all these people that we've had on the show, and you just feel like you're instantly best friends. You're just instantly good friends, and you just, I don't know, there's a comfort there, which is just so weird. It's like
we could talk for hours and hours and hours about this one thing that's called Twin Peaks.
Right, and it blows my mind. So I think meeting everybody here, everybody we've made friends with, and just crazy. It's just so weird. It is very special. Like, you don't get that in very many fandoms. You know, there's fandoms, but I don't know. You can like Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but I'm not like in that fandom.
This is like a closer. I mean, I feel like this is a very close cult. I feel like you can almost know everybody that's really, really into Twin Peaks.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. The people who are diehards, it's like for some strange reason we all know each other. It's weird. I mean, that's the best. I mean, that's like my favorite thing. It's just meeting everybody. I don't know about Joel, Pete, Twin Peaks.
I don't think he's gonna make it.
I texted him. I said people were excited. He didn't. No response.
I responded to him on Twitter too. So
he's a tough guy, but I can't say I am in the works. We're going to be doing Twin Peaks season 3 Madness, and I don't know if everybody's listened to season 1, season 2, David Lynch Madness, but re-listen to those. I'm like choking.
It's our March Madness frame of we went through the first season. What was the best episode of the first season? And the panel gets together, and then we did the second season, and now we're going to do the third season. What do we think is the best part of season 3?
Yeah, and it's me, Joel Bacco, Josh Minton, and Ben, and it's going to be this is like kind of like the last one. And then I was
one more though, don't we?
Yeah, I have one more in store. By the time we end this podcast, I want to do the ultimate one where we take all the winners, we take everybody who's ever been on the panel, and we'll pit them against each other.
So Lost Highway will win. It'll beat out all of Twin Peaks.
Yeah. What is the biggest favorite David Lynch thing? I guess I don't even know what we call it, but
Ultimate Madness, Lynch.
Yeah,
Madness.
Ultimate Lynch Madness. So that's going to be very interesting. Those are fun episodes anyway. But Joel, I don't know. He's a tough one to get a hold of.
I'm excited because I haven't actually had a chance, but Joel has started up his journey to Twin Peaks, I think season 3 now too. So that's really exciting. I love his video essays that he does, and I'm glad he's been working on that.
You guys been watching those? Like, yeah, they're good.
Yeah, that was. I think that might have been the first thing I found after I finished the first 2 seasons. When I wanted to, I don't know, find discussions about it, I came across that like those first 30 parts of his series, and yeah, it's been awesome that he's got back to it and he's going into the third one now.
Yeah, his stuff is really good, and his Patreon is really good too.
Right, he does like a podcast, his own podcast there through Patreon.
Yeah. If you want more Joel, $1 a month, you get a lot of Joel.
You get $1 a month, and you can get movies and Twin Peaks and everything that he's into right now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should wrap it up, Bryon.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, thank you guys. We didn't miss anybody. I think we hit everybody.
Hey guys, real quick, I forgot. I was supposed to tell you that Chris Council was sad he couldn't make it, but wants to wish you a happy 5th.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
And if Chris is wishing us a happy 5th, I'm sure Glenn was too, right?
Yes.
Thanks, Chris and Glenn.
And those guys usually join us on casts.
Yeah, they're on usually every week on Friday nights too, so that's really cool.
Yeah. So, listen,
and mentioning that, this week, this week is our 5-year anniversary, but also on Friday we'll be revealing who killed Laura Palmer on Friday night. So we're watching. If you're doing the watch party, we're gonna finally find out who it is.
Is it gonna be Ben Horn?
It might be.
I can't believe I somehow managed to go through all my teenage years, in my 20s, my 30s, and not know who the killer was until doing the podcast. And it's weird because Ben, right before we watched that episode, it was like Father's Day, or it was a Father's Day before, and I posted a picture of Leland and said Happy Father's Day, and he's giving that deranged look. And I had no idea. I really thought this was just part of the show I haven't seen yet. And Ben's just like,
do you know what you just posted?
And I didn't see the humor in it. Now I do. But
I listened to that. I listened to that episode where you said who you thought killed Laura Palmer, and you said Ben. I was walking around some fields near where I live in lockdown, listening to you guys, and you whispered. I was listening at the end, and you whispered Ben Horn, and I punched the air as I was looking. I was like, yes, it was so great. So really, great. You didn't.
He has no idea. He has no idea.
Yeah, Ben wanted me to whisper it right at the end there. I know.
I didn't want you to tell me. Basically, I wanted to find out. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the longest time, I thought David Bowie was in the series. I thought David Bowie would show up in season 2 because I've seen that photograph of all of them standing together, and I was like, David Bowie's in the show? When is he going to show up? And we go through the whole thing, and I'm like, he's not here. And then
Just 3
Firewalker.
minutes in the movie.
Yeah. But it was so cool that he was in the movie. I wish he was in there longer. But yeah, like so many things. It was hard. I made it through though without being spoiled. So
good times.
It is a good times. But I thank you guys for all joining.
Thank you all for coming. This has been fun.
Thank you.
I mean, I learned my lesson. It's hard. We want to include everybody.
Let's not learn our lesson.
I know.
Every time we do this, we'll just invite.
Oh God, yeah. So the audio version of this will be out this Thursday on the 5th anniversary. So thank you guys for being part of this. Oh wait. Oh yeah, Joel. Wait. Yes, would like to. How late does it go? Let's see.
You've got 30 seconds.
Yeah, you got 30 seconds. Make your appearance.
We are waiting.
Come. He said he's got a minute. Come on in.
Okay, hold on. We might. 1 minute. Closing time. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for him. All right, I guess we'll just anybody else want to talk about anything? Do it. Let's just.
No, actually, I mean, does anybody want to mention about where we, if you guys are on social media, how we can follow you?
I mean, I don't necessarily post a lot of Twin Peaks. Actually, no. Yes, I do. I should have mentioned this. I'm actually doing a weekly covers on my YouTube channel of music from the 3rd season. So each day that an episode was broadcast that day from the 3rd season, it's a piece of music from that episode. So I've got 4 of those on my channel, which is just Thomas Quill. So if you look that up, you'll find my videos.
Cool.
Most recent one was Windswept, and Tarifa will be on Thursday.
Nice.
So that's my thing.
Nice, thank you. Anybody else want to have anything?
Twin Peaks on Twitter and Instagram.
At Bino Rojo on Twitter.
Bino.
I'm Rob Perrin on Twitter. I don't have much on there, but maybe I'll mention if anyone's interested in Lost, I do have my an old blog, which I have a lot of visits to Oahu and visits to some of the sets and stuff like that, and some of the events that took place around the show. So that's I think it's robperrin.blogspot.com.
Cool.
I think so. There's some interesting stuff there. I like look at it every few years just to. Yeah, it was a fun time as well. That was kind of the first big. I mean, I've been a fan of various things for a while, but that was the first big fan community thing where, got together with people who I met online and traveled places and went to conventions and things. So that was a cool time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lost. We always joke that when we turn 50, we'll do a Lost podcast.
Even though we're not the same age, but when we turn 50.
You should do it. You should do it.
Oh,
Lost Unwrapped.
Lost
Unwrapped.
Anybody else? Joel's not responding to me, so.
He says a few more minutes. Come join. Oh, no, he just liked what I said. So I don't know if his like means he's joining us.
I
just liked something.
Anybody else? Anybody else got anything on social media they want to share? No.
And Pete, you're still with 25 years later?
I haven't been doing any writing for them, but I can plug the things I had done for them, which was just talking with fans, trying to get people's perspectives of how they got exposed to Twin Peaks. A lot of folks. I think Bino spent some time with me doing that. Both of you guys did. Steven did. Some of the cast also did. It was a lot of fun. It got a little bit tough. I didn't realize that a weekly or even bi-weekly piece, as short as it was, and all of the editing and the transcriptions and everything. Boy, that is crazy. And that obviously is more power to you guys for everything that you do, because oh my gosh, I would get a Slack message saying it's gotta be in, and I was saying I can't do it.
Joel's with us.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Hey, Joel.
Hi.
Hey, you made just in the nick of time here.
Joel, you're the closer. Everybody was dying to see you and hear from you.
Hello.
How are you, Joel?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Really good. You want to bring up? You've started up Journey to Twin Peaks again. You're on season 3. You want to talk about that, and you're also your Patreon podcast?
Sure. I started back in actually on the 30th anniversary of the pilot. I put up my first new chapter in 5 years, and since then I've put up I think 5 chapters, 5 more chapters, and they're mostly leading up to season 3. And then the last one I did is a whole half hour, which is twice as long as any YouTube video that I've put up before. And that's all on season 3. So it goes through the way the original Journey series does, where it looked at the seasons 1 and 2 by like groups of episodes. So look at like early part of season 2 and what was happening there, and then like the 2 episodes leading to the kills reveal. So I do that with season 3 all in one chapter. So it's like a mini version of that, like 3 or 4 minutes on this part, few minutes on that one, and so forth. And then hopefully this month at some point I'm going to do chapters on Mark Frost and his work, and the other collaborators like Harley Payton and Robert Engels, and all of the directors of the original series. Those are supposed to come out before my big season 3 one, but I ran out of time. I wanted to get it up for the 3rd anniversary of the season 3 premiere, so I kind of jumped ahead a little bit. So those are all going up a little out of order, but the ones that in some ways I enjoyed making the most were about David Lynch and Mary Sweeney, his editor for many years, and looking at their collaboration and the work that they made during that time, and kind of seeing how that style evolved from his early work to those films to then, I think in The Return, it's a whole different beast. Like it goes back to some aspects of the early work. It's a lot sort of slower and quieter, more kind of removed a little bit. There's a different style to season 3 than you get in a lot of other Lynch films and stuff. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
And what about your Patreon? How is that going, the podcast?
Good. So I'm doing at this point it's a season 2 rewatch. I'm up to this month. I'm going to do the episode where, spoiler alert for all the people who haven't seen Twin Peaks who are listening, where they capture Leland and he dies and all of that. So that episode's going to be so much fun to discuss.
Yeah.
Because that is, I think, just kind of a messy episode in some ways. And I love the messy ones because they're the most fun to talk about. You can kind of pick into how did this happen? How did that happen? It's sort of a moment where they take everything that they set up to that point and try to bring it to a conclusion,
Nice.
So that'll be fun. And I think, I don't know if maybe I shouldn't say anything yet, but there may be some upcoming Unwrapped appearances, I understand, on similar subjects.
Yes, I already said how we're going to be doing our season 3 madness with you and Josh.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be so much fun. Oh my God.
Yeah. What episode will win? I don't know.
I know, right?
I mean, you could say episode 8, but I don't know.
It's going to be yeah, that's true. That'll be the favorite going in. But it's much harder to say with a lot of those than seasons 1 and 2 because we've had like less time to kind of think about it and break it down.
Yeah.
Very true.
And Joel, this week is our 5th year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And you were one of our first guests on the show. I mean, I think we had Brad Dukes and maybe somebody else, but you were like one of our first people.
Yeah.
So thank you. I mean, thanks for always joining us on all those different shows that we've done.
Yeah, it was fun. I've actually been going back and listening, not to the conversations, but the episode recaps, because for the videos, I've been wanting to re-listen to all of those, Twin Peaks podcasts I listened to between like 2014 and 2016 or 17 or so on the original series. And it's hilarious because you're like trying to rein Bryon in because he's like 3 or 4 episodes ahead. So he keeps, you're like, no.
Biggest mistake is I really should have like said you cannot go ahead. I really should have put my foot down and said you can't watch ahead.
He couldn't help himself.
I know. I watched 3 at a time. I took notes.
Yeah.
But then I stopped at some point.
Thank God you stopped when you did, because I feel like you stopped right on the cusp of like where it would have been.
Yes. I think what I said is like we are watching the reveal of who killed Laura Palmer together. So you cannot so we literally the
you
same
told him like what episode it was.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Also, we were recording two a time. So I had to watch 2 episodes. So it was kind of weird.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, behind the scenes, we would record multiple shows in one sitting.
I think what would happen was we eventually started, we would record an episode about the show, and then we would record another episode about something completely different, so you wouldn't get ahead. But
yeah,
we made it work.
That's funny.
But Joel, it's so great to see you. And, we met Joel, like, for the very first time. Was it last October? Or
oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Last October.
Because it was in October. Was it called Oktoberfest? What is it called? It's in Worcester, Mass. Yeah, rock. Yeah.
Rock and
wow.
Yeah. I was just looking at that picture the other day because I was trying to revisit my old character entries, and we're not even old. Like I wrote them years ago, but I haven't even published them yet because I've been waiting till they're done, and I haven't even like begun the main part of them. So I went back and looked at was it Renzo, the head arm wrestler?
Yeah, wrestling.
And I threw in a little line in a link about our meeting with him because I was like,
that's so cool. We all arm wrestled him together.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing guy. Like if you guys go to a festival and he's there, he'll talk to you. Yeah.
And I was reminded of all of his other horror and sci-fi things he's done. Like he was Swamp Thing. I guess last year, and it got canceled
TV show.
Really fast, and people were upset about it or something. I've never watched it or anything, but researching for this was kind of interesting to see that. Got quite a history, and he was Jason in the new Friday the 13th films.
Yeah. Oh, I did not know that. And he's such a welcoming and happy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beyond nice. Like he just we should have had a recorder because we would have
got him for the book.
Yeah, I mean, oh my Lord.
And Leo, we had a long talk with Eric DeRay too. For you guys.
Cool.
Yeah, he was really nice.
Nice guy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Anybody have questions for Joel? I know. Anything at all? Anybody?
I don't know if it's necessarily a question. I'm just gonna say that I'm a really big fan of your series.
Thank you.
I was saying earlier that it was like the first Twin Peaks analysis that I came across after watching the first 2 seasons. And I frequently go back to them just because they're just fun to watch.
Oh, thank you so much. Very nice.
Yeah. Love that you're continuing with it.
It's Twin Peaks fans. I feel like we have I was just thinking about this the other day. It's like we have a really good friend, or at least the part I've seen of it. It's like a very good friendly community. It's I feel like not every fandom has that kind of I don't know, goodwill. Put it that way. You know what I mean? Not to get specific or whatever, but it's it seems like we all kind of create stuff. We look at each other's stuff and have good exchanges on it. And then sometimes you look at other things. Not that there's not some of that in Twin Peaks too, but it's you look at other stuff and they're ripping each other apart and how dare you. It's about I don't know, Kylo Ren or something. I never actually, not to completely go off the subject, but I actually still haven't seen the 3rd Star Wars film. I never went and saw it.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
You're like, okay. Yeah. It seems like I'm not alone in that. Like I've heard other people say, and it wasn't even like I don't want to see this. I mean, to be honest, it was probably mostly that the other ones I saw with my sister and brother-in-law when they would come up to visit for Christmas, and they just had a baby, so they didn't come up this year.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of never went. So, but it seemed also like just generally in the culture, everyone kind of got Star Warsed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing. I mean, we were just talking about that, how this community is very tight. And Ben made a good point. He's like, we kind of know everybody in some weird way.
Yeah.
If you're really to Twin Peaks, you kind of know each other, which is
That's awesome.
Or are you meeting each other? Like we're meeting these new folks tonight here on this Zoom chat. But I mean, you're right though. It's not as toxic as it could be in other communities.
Right. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
could be.
I don't think I've ever come across any toxicity in the Twin Peaks fandom. It's always been very nice.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen some of it, but it's usually like it's like because I feel like Twin Peaks it's got a big enough fan base at this point that there are different parts of it, but
yeah,
it's still also small enough that in general you can kind of interact with everybody or whatever.
Yeah, I think at worst Sorry, what were you saying?
What were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say, I think at worst, it seems more so just a case of with the new season, there's just people who kind of, who go off on like, I don't know how bad it is at some points. So, but even then, it's not as bad as something like Star Wars fandom, which is just dreadful.
Yeah, no, that's true. And so I don't know, since I'm popping in really late, maybe you guys already addressed this, but maybe it would be a good spot to end on. I don't know. What do you guys think about, new Twin Peaks and David Lynch and all that? Like, do you think, because I've even heard people speculate based on his answers to some questions that maybe he was working on something and the pandemic kind of interrupted it. Like, because the way he answered their question was like, nothing's going on now, and if it was, it couldn't be, or something like he just said typical kind of Lynchism. But
to be honest, I've kind of come to terms with the fact that more than likely the last season is probably going to be the last one. Like, I mean, I'd like to see more, if there's more, then I'd certainly welcome it. But my first response to the third season was kind of negative in a sense. Like, I was feeling like, no, we need to have more of it. Like, it was a good season, but like, you need to have more than after that ending. But like, the more I've like rewatched it, I felt like it kind of is an ending. Like, it's a very dark ending, I think, but it's an ending, and it's an ending that works, and I'm fine with that as it is, and I'm fine with David Lynch doing off his other things besides this. But again, if there's more, then cool.
I haven't found all the film locations for the other season yet, so can they just wait until they're done with that, and then they can do it? So give me something else to work on.
That's how I feel about making the character list. There's so many new characters. I was looking at it the other day, and I'm like, man, if they announce a new season in the middle of me finally, literally after 4 years, finally getting back and trying, like, just like, give me a year.
I don't know. I think there might be something else. I really do. I don't feel like it's over yet. Will there be a movie or?
I did not feel that way before season 3, which maybe means it's not going to happen. Because now it will. But I did not think there would ever be a third season. And after the third season, pretty much from the finale, I've thought some just feels like there's more. Something hasn't been like kind of, they don't tie things up, but even something hasn't been like followed up on yet.
Yeah.
With Carrie and Richard, I think that's what it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cooper and
Carrie and Richard?
Yeah.
What's that what you said?
Yeah, like a Cooper and because even the
Carrie and Richard, yeah.
Yeah, the only time Lynch has acknowledged, and I think Diane would play a part in it too, is my guess. Like the only time I've heard Lynch say anything hinting that there could be more beyond just like an ambiguous statement? Was somebody asked him, I think they asked him if there would be a follow-up, and he said, there's no plans, but something about Carrie Page is calling to me, but the signal is garbled or something like that.
There are disturbances.
Yeah, yes, that's what it was. Yeah, I was like, ooh, that's interesting. Sorry, yeah, I think you were saying something, Ben, before, and I got off on a tangent.
No, that's probably pretty much it.
So you think that there's going to be more?
I don't know. I get this feeling with Kyle seems to be interested in doing more of Sherilyn Fenn. I feel like David Lynch hints at would be willing to do more. Showtime seems to be open to do more. So I mean, everybody seems to say yes, we would do more. Whereas like, after season 2, ABC was done with them, and even Lynch at the time he was willing to do Fire Walk with Me. But still, I feel like everybody's willing to do more. Maybe everything just has to line up right, and they have to find the story. And that's another thing Lynch says is he says, "Well, it takes a while to write this," and that's his response. And like, well, now's some time for writing.
Something that people don't think about, or maybe it's more so lately to think about, is that even since just the new season aired, like a lot of cast members have died. So if it ever came back, it would be without a lot of characters. So it would really have to be something that's like very just Dale and Laura centered, and maybe Diane too. Like maybe just a direct follow up to the ending. Because as far as the town is concerned, like even just in the sheriff's station, like what's his name? Actor for Frank. I know. He's gone as well. So there's no Robert Forster. Yeah. So there are no more Trumans left. So
even the lead Fox addict is dead. When I was doing the character revisions, I looked and I was like, because she was on the older side, and I had written something about now her career is this and that, and I thought, I thought I was going to publish this back in 2018. I should actually look since it's going to go up next year instead. And sure enough, she passed away last year.
I don't
think she's going to be in the new series.
Which one was that?
Lady Slots.
Yes, the gambling woman there.
Jackpot, yeah. Oh, she was nice.
Yeah.
They didn't kill off the original Truman, Harry Truman. So I mean,
but I don't think he's going to be coming back to acting.
I know.
Like I don't know what.
They didn't kill him off.
What happened there? Because like there was talk about him coming back, and then he just didn't, and there's never said any reason as to why he didn't come back. So,
I suspect the part was bigger than he thought it would be. That's
maybe
that's not a big part. Like
it was,
Frank, who was obviously originally supposed to be Harry, was in like quite a lot of that series.
Yeah, most of it.
And so many other people just had their kind of quick cameo and said hi and were gone. So maybe he thought it would be more like that. And when he found out it was going to be like 6 months of shooting in LA, he was like, nah, I don't know. I don't think.
Yeah, possibly.
I'm not leaving Hawaii. But they did leave the door open if he ever changed his mind.
They did.
Yeah, I think a movie would be great with just those two, with Carrie and Richard.
Two-part mini-series type thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think they laid the foundation of what to expect because of the whole Dougie situation, and we already saw everything happen with the townspeople. So I feel like if they did a hyper-focused thing with just those two people, I think that would be kind of interesting.
What about Wally? Though.
Spin-off series.
Those two people and Wally, right?
Yeah, Wally spin-off.
Okay, that's what I thought.
In every incarnation of Twin Peaks, they find a spot for her, the German waitress.
Yeah.
He has certain people he will always bring in, even if like the most famous people aren't there.
Yeah. You will see.
Wally could be the new James. He can have this whole drama thing.
There's still little Nikki, who's now bigger Nikki.
Oh yeah, we need.
There's a whole.
Oh Jesus, yeah. Little Nikki.
need
Take
big
around
numbers.
the whole people have died. We'll just do an animated series, Twin Peaks animated series, like Star Trek had Star Trek animated. We'll do a Twin Peaks animated.
That could work.
Nice video there. Okay. All
Nice,
right.
Aaron.
You can do claymation.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be kind of cool, actually.
I know. It'd be kind of creepy.
There hasn't been any claymation revival yet, has there?
No.
I'm predicting it right now, on the record. There will be a claymation revival in the next 5 years. You got millennials getting middle aged. They got their own kids, nostalgic for the California raisins of their youth. It's coming back.
Twin Peaks claymation. I love it.
Bryon, we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, thank you, Joel, for.
Sorry, I got distracted. I couldn't come on till now, but
it's cool.
Will this be a video episode as well, or?
This will be out on Thursday, audio version, and I will, if everyone's okay with it, I will publish the video version on our YouTube channel. If everyone's fine with that. If you're not,
got some editing to do.
Yeah, I will edit. We did have some bombers come in and disrupt things, but it was fine.
What was that all about?
All about, Joel? Is that you?
No, somebody said, we're getting spammers. Are you this name? And I said, no. Were there actual people coming on video and saying things?
I let people in because I don't know who everybody was, and I got rid of them, but they were playing music and doing funky stuff.
Sharing some pornography,
Yeah, some pornography, yeah.
The huge, the huge.
Oh, man. Twin Peaks Uncensored.
Yeah. After Dark. Twin Peaks After Dark. We published this stuff on social media, so I knew it was going to happen.
We opened ourselves up to this.
We walked right into this. I knew it. I was kind of hoping Conan O'Brien would see it and he would join us because he likes to drop in on people's Zoom meetings. So I was kind of hoping for that. But thank you guys. It's been so awesome. We get to share today with you guys and everybody. Every week we put the show out. We appreciate everybody who listens to the show. It means a lot to us. It's why we keep doing it, because we would just be talking to ourselves, or just be Ben and me at Denny's, just talking about.
There you
go. But thank you guys. Joel, we had everybody say their stuff. Where can people find your stuff?
LostInTheMovies.com is my website, and at Lost in the Movies. Well, I should say Journey Peaks is the Journey Through Twin Peaks Twitter. So you can follow, keeping tabs on my behind the scenes, what I'm working on with the videos and stuff. And I was doing a 30th anniversary threads every week of my work and comments from the time, media comments, Usenet, all that for each episode. So I'll be doing that again in the fall when the 30th anniversary of season 2 comes up on that account. So
nice.
That'll be fun. But yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. Great.
And on YouTube, Lost in the Movies.
Yeah. Everybody, great work. Joel, Steven, everybody.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you guys, everybody here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. I love seeing everything now and in the future, and it's just awesome. But thank you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, congrats on 5 years.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's crazy. 5 years. God.
Feels like a lifetime.
Like a different era, waiting for the season 3. It was like a whole different time.
It was.
I know. All right, I'm gonna stop recording. All right.
We didn't need to say anything else. We didn't need to sign off.
I'll do a quick sign off. If you got a comment, question, theory, give us an email at twinpeaksunwrapped@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify. Give us that 5-star review, and we'll be back next week.
See you soon.